Well, my next day of the leader. I just don't log in, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. Good evening, everybody. One just note of reference is at 7:30. We are going to be moving into a closed session at that time. So we'll start with the adoption of agenda. Make that motion. Councillor Bowden. Second. All in favor? Carried. Delegations. Are there any delegations from the public? No delegations tonight? We'll just move on to public presentations. That either. So we'll go into adoption of minutes. 5.1, minutes of the regular meeting of the council, November 12th, 2024. If there's any questions, errors, or omissions, if not, I'll ask for the motion. Councillor Farrell. That the minutes of the regular meeting of the council held November 12th, 2024 be adopted as first. All in favor? Thank you.
I'm gonna speed this right now.
So, that's okay. That the minutes of the regular meeting of the council held November 12th, 2024 be adopted as presented. Okay, that we just differently. So 5.2. Yeah. Minutes of the special meeting of the council November 25th, 2024. Can I get a motion? Councillor Olson. All in favor? So you don't want me to read then what else you have on there afterwards? I can just go through. Okay, that's covered. Okay, 5.3, minutes of the information meeting of the council, November 27th. Councillor Murphy. All in favor? Carried. 5.4, minutes of the special meeting of council, December 3rd, 2024. Can I get a motion? Councillor Thurl. All in favor? Carried. So finance report 6.1, accounts payable. Any questions? We can get a motion to accept the accounts payable. Councillor Olson, all in favor? Okay, 6.2, statement of revenue and expenses.
One question on that. What's left for expenses for the downtown project? Like, where's payment sitting for that? Did we wait for 100% completion for?
Yeah, and I think we have till March to finish that off. Is that correct? So there's just minor things. I think we had one last big kind to put in, and then after that, it's just going to be minor. If there's any minor things, but I think was it 240,000 that was left? I think that was,
yeah, doing the numbers and talking with everybody, we should be sitting after the grant, I believe, somewhere around that 240, 250. No, 240, because we're getting bases made for the lights standard.
Oh, okay.
So that'll come in, and then just little things. So there should be some money coming back to us. hopefully, but we won't know until like March, the end of March is when the final payments go in, but all the numbers look like there'll be some coming back.
Excellent.
Does that include, the stop lines that are painted just outside the, office to get rid of them?
Yeah, that's already included. That was already priced out. Yeah, and the same with installment of the trash cans and a few of the other things. I got a note today that they've arrived and I recommended that they don't do it till spring. I don't want them touching the concrete in the cold. So,
Yeah,
so I think we will have a bit of a surplus. What that is right now, I'm not sure.
I see there's about $2 million left to be expensed overall. Is that the bulk of it? Was payments due for?
Yeah, the
project?
next
Yeah.
one was it 1.6 or 1.4?
Okay.
We all, yeah.
Any more questions? I'm speaking of revenue. Okay, ask for the motion. Councilor Crowell? All in favor? Okay, 6.3 budget overview, November 23rd. Questions? I'll ask for a motion to that council accepts the budget overview in November 2024 for information. Councilor Thorough, all in favor?
This is just for information.
That's for
not-
information.
Yes.
Carried.
It's great. Thank you for the change.
Okay, committee report 7.1, Community Service Board meeting minutes, November 27th.
Mr. Tyrant. It was our night there that we did our community service grants. We only had 3 applicants that submitted grant proposals. They were from the Hanna Dance, Hanna Band, and the Hanna Elks. And
Oh, guys never replied.
no, just the 3. And we put Corey Westcott's name forward to be appointed to the board. And Kaylee Cooper put her name forward for a 2nd term. And the community service grants went to $500 went to Hanna Band or Hanna Dance. Hanna Band got 1,000 and the Hanna Elks were to get $1,500.
Any questions?
I also found that, one of the members resigned, Derbyshire.
She put her name forward. She's resigning in the new year. It's for family reasons. She's going to start babysitting and helping her grandchildren. So
So you're still short a few positions.
yeah,
Okay, if I can get a motion that council accepts community service board meeting minutes of November 27th, 2024. I will do that. Councilor Murphy, all in favor? Carried. 8.1. CAO.
And and so I got the summer jobs application in, that's completed. I've had many meetings with Brownlee over the solar projects, and they'll be giving you an update later on tonight. Attended a regional emergency management program in Consort to be up to date with all the regional cooperation with that. Attended the Palliser AGM, which was interesting. Community Services Board meeting, I attended that. I submitted the NREG grant I'm not sure where we're gonna stand on that because I think they really want, what's the word? They want us to do studies and that kind of thing instead of building things, so. We'll see how that goes.
So we're not committing to anything, right? We're applying.
Yeah, well, you council direct the staff to apply for the 150, so that's committed in the budget, so if we don't get that grant, you could say redirect that 150,000 or say let's spend 150,000 of that money on like a smaller version of what we had planned.
If they come back with yes, you get the 150,000, but it has to be used to get more studies done, we don't need that.
No, and they wouldn't do that because they would just turn us down, you know, but as I filled in the grant, I could get the sense that they really want studies done, is what they.
That's amazing.
Last week I attended AB News because I'm on that economic strategy committee meeting. They talked a lot about mini homes and like companies who can help build and develop mini homes. One of the interesting things was that a study that was done on small businesses, how they feel that they are unfairly treated because their tax rate is higher in municipalities than residential. So they're pushing for same tax rate as residential.
For the mini homes.
No, for small businesses.
Oh.
Like the residential, non-residential split is what they're asking for. So that's mine. For the arena, I guess bleachers were installed. There's been some non-local tournaments. They've got a lot of good press and a lot of positive reviews over happening there. Well, Christmas lights were installed and turned on. That's about it. The Skate with Santa coming up. Michelle attended the FCS conference, and there's some Christmas giving things coming up. Those are the highlights.
The decorations look very good, by the way. Thank you to staff for.
Thank you. Can I get a motion that council accepts the senior administration officials report 8.01 to 8.03 is presented for information? Councilor Bowden.
Well, 2 or 3.
Oh,
You mean 01?
I guess I should wait till that. Yeah. Okay. So we can just do those all at once then at the end, or?
No, you have to do them individually.
If you want to lower it, it's like,
Yeah.
Brent.
Yeah, we do those.
Yeah. I can probably answer for the time I have anything.
I guess, this one, sorry, okay. I was just thinking it was 8.01.1 and 8.01.2. Sorry, that's my mistake. Okay, 8.02, Director of Business and Communications. Thank you.
I don't have anything to add, but I will entertain questions if there are any questions from council.
We're saving a little bit of money by not putting the newsletter in the.
Yeah, so we decided to actually print and asked the coffee break if they would distribute them along with their coffee break. So it is a little bit less, but we're still paying the printing fee and we're still paying the distribution fee. I spent that money today, you'll be happy to know.
I'm sure it's easy to do.
Well, I've been really having struggles with the website. It's just really bogged down. And so I spent quite a bit of time on the phone the last couple of days trying to figure out what the problem is. And in the end, we just have to increase our hosting package and the resources that are dedicated to it. It's a lot of the documents that are on our site, probably the council packages. So I believe, go and delete 2021 and older. But I'm not certain it deleted them in the back end from the FTP site, so I still have some work to do. Anyways, bottom
So
line,
that's all
increase the
managed
hosting.
locally, the website itself.
100%.
That's a lot. Good for you. But that's a lot, because and there's so many pages in it. Oh, my goodness.
And if it's working well, it's working well, but the last few days it's not been working well.
My sympathies.
Any more questions for Lori? Okay, thank you, Lori. Moving on to 8.03, Director of Public Works.
Thank you. Well, we got all the streets hauled, a couple graves dug, and we were going to do some cleanup or some fixing today, and at 9 o'clock last night, my phone rang and water plant said we had a high flow alarm. We were losing 101 liters a second.
Oh.
We found a water main break on 3rd Street, right at corner of 7th.
Yeah.
Fortunately, all the valves worked really good. We were able to shut it down and nobody was out of water on that stretch because it's a loop line. It was repaired by 1:30 this afternoon and filled back in.
See it all done.
There was no flooding. Like there was no,
It was
it was bad.
all the way 2 blocks. The catch basin, we thought it was plugged, but it couldn't keep up. It was
Oh,
swirling like crazy. So the crew worked well. Of course, Brooks comes in, which gives us that extra hand, and so we had her done by 1:30. And other than that, that's all I have at this time. If there's any questions.
What was the problem? Was it like an
It
actual?
was a 4-inch line, blew a hole in the bottom. I should have brought pictures, but it just for some reason it blew a chunk out of the bottom of it, which caused the boulevard to raise by cairns. And
Oh,
normally they just crack and they don't as bad, but this one just blew a chunk out the bottom. So we replaced about a 4.5, 5-foot piece, and we're all back together. And right here.
and so what was that line? Was that concrete asbestos?
Yeah, it's
The old deal.
it's
Any more questions for Mr. Olson? If not, thank you, and thank you for your work
thank you.
maintaining and repairing the water break. I'll ask for a motion that council accepts the senior administration official report 8.01 to 8.03 as presented for information. Council voting, all in favor?
That's it. Thank you.
Carried. Moving on to number 9, business items, 9.01 community services board grant allocations.
Yeah, as Councillor Therese said in his presentation, 3 groups were chosen to receive money. Hanna Dance Association 500, the Elks 1,500, and Hanna Community Band 1,000. So we're just looking for council's approval to under these funds.
I'll accuse myself of it. Myself.
So, yeah. Councillor Thurl will recuse himself from this vote. So I'm looking for a motion that council approves the recommendations of the Community Services Board to award the 2024 Community Services Board grant in the amount of $3,000 as follows. $500 goes to Hanna Dance Association Professional Development for Instructors, $1,500 to Hanna Elks cost of curling rink rental for National Bondsville, and $1,000 goes to Hanna Community Band purchase of sheet music.
I would be happy to make that motion.
Okay, motion from Council Murphy. All in favor? Carried. 1.02 Community Services Board member appointment.
Yeah, so council's just looking for approval to appoint Harry Westcott for a 3-year term and 2-year term for Kelly Cooper.
for a motion that council approves the following appointments to the Community Services Board. As stated by CEO Matthew, Community Services Board, 3-year term, Corey Westcott, October 31st, 2027, which will be the end of her term, and 2-year term for youth, Kaylee Cooper, term ending October 31st, 2026.
I can do that.
I think Councillor Cole, I had his hand up previously. Right? So I'll accept that motion from Councillor Cole. All in favor? Carried. 9.03 uncollectible AR accounts.
So this is just to authorize the CEO to declare 12 utility accounts in the amount of $2,100 as uncollectible and remove the funds from the utility receivable account, and to declare 2 accounts receivable accounts in the amount of $400 as uncollectible and remove the funds from the trade receivable account.
It's the trade receivable.
It's just the account that has all of the accounting in it for that.
So what is the, why are these uncollectible? Have the people moved away? Have they passed away, or why are they uncollectible?
Most of them,
It could be a variety of reasons, but
most of them are because people have sold their property and moved, and they just ignore us because they can, and we can't put them on their taxes because they've sold the property.
Okay,
So,
You're gonna have to speak up on me.
sorry.
I can't even hear you, so
Good.
public won't be able to.
They are because people sell their properties and move away. And then we try to get them to pay and they ignore the bills. And so we have no other course to collect them. And the 2 from accounts receivable in the amount of $400 were dog fines that we felt both people, one had moved away and one wasn't. We just didn't feel it was right to keep them.
is there any chance to have this registered against a property before they have a chance to move away, or we just really, no way at
It's
the
hard
time?
because you're not the bill.
Yeah,
You can sell your house. We can only, some days we only have 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
So by the time we get a bill done, it's sent to you, it's not in your name anymore.
Yeah.
So it's hard to put it on their properties.
there's a charge to register on title, is that right?
No, we just apply it to your tax.
When they no longer own the property.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Well, you
Yeah,
can't do it.
no.
And I know, like, collections, the amounts are so small, because each one has to be done individually, that it'll cost more than the
Oh, I
$111.
realize that. Yeah, no, I understand that.
We haven't done a collection agency in years just because
The fees.
they keep 50% of it anyways.
Yeah.
It's
They're awful people.
usually.
So this is over a period of a whole year.
Actually, it's probably been a couple of years, that's somewhere in there that we try to keep on them as soon as we can, but we try and then.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
That's unfortunate, I think, because it's from $32 to $480, but cumulatively, it's, what. It's also get more substantial.
It's usually the final bills
Yeah, right.
that people just walk away from because they can't.
Yeah.
Some questions? Comments? If not, ask for a motion that council authorize the chief administrative officer to declare 12 utility accounts in the amount of $2,134.01 as uncollectible and remove the funds from the utility receivable accounts. There are two accounts receivable accounts in the amount of $400 as uncollectible and remove the funds from the trade receivable account. Councilor Olson? All in favor? Carried. 9.04 returning officer appointment.
As you may or may not know, in 2025, there's municipal elections. And just to be on top of it, we need a returning officer and a substitute returning officer. So it's to appoint Winona as the returning officer and Caitlin as the assistant substitute returning officer of the 2025 elections.
I think Winona's done it for the last number of years, like, we've been on that list for a while, so. Well,
Okay, I'll
maybe I
ask
can't.
for a motion that council appoints Winona Gucci, Director of Corporate Services, as returning officer, and Caitlin Bowden, Corporate Services Assistant, as substitute returning officer for the town of Hanna 2025 municipal election.
I guess I don't think I can.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion. Councilor Kroll, all in favor? Carried.
Except to do with this.
Congratulations, Winona. And thank you. 9.5 development permit fee structure.
So the council firmly recommended that we made these changes to our fee structure so that there would be some cost recovery to all our costs that are coming with legal fees and other fees. So they also represented kind of Killam. And so we kind of borrowed from what they did to set some development fee structure in place. So the main thing that you're going to notice is the solar, which we the development fee at $1,000 per acre. So that's again aimed at it seems like that's what Killam used. So it seems like it's an acceptable level to charge without it being too much or not getting some of our costs back. So and then just increasing general development. I think that went up from 10 to 20. So just some slight increases there. And we included wind power, just we know it's unlikely, but it's in there. So we're just looking for approval.
So the wind doesn't identify certain sizes. It could be smaller winds.
I think we're talking commercial.
Within a.
Yeah, not somebody who has like a
something,
little wind turbine.
But our land use bylaw explicitly doesn't allow it anyways.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt to have anything in there.
I'd be keen for making that motion.
I like it.
Wish it was 25,000. Yeah, sure. I will make the motion.
It's only 6:40.
Oh, so, I'm looking for a motion. That the council approve the revised development permit fee structures presented effective immediately. Councilor Bowden, all in favor? Carried. 9.06 handyman purchase approval.
So we discussed this at one of the budget meetings, so we thought we'd bring this forward to you. Purchase the newer of the two at a price of $86,500, and we would use the excess funds that we received from special areas that we weren't expecting. So the extra funds that we received, we would use that money to purchase the handy van.
May I ask one question? Is this coming with like a secret done to it, complete? You don't see if there's any.
We could take it and have one. It's only got 5,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
and it still has warranty and everything.
Oh,
Hasn't even worn the engine in, you know?
We, as a, because we are a town, we would have to have it commercially inspected on our dime because it's a private, it doesn't. But yeah, it's just been in and had a block heater put in, which is why she's asked for a little bit more, and it still has warranty and everything on
oh,
it.
that's good. No, I just asked like most things.
So that, and we could take it to Cam, but
Yeah,
that would be a request, but it would be on our dime
Yeah.
anyway.
but it's got warranty left, so
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
it's even better.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion that the town of Hanna council approves the purchase of a used handy van at a total cost of $86,000, $86,500, utilizing surplus funds from the additional payment received from the 2024 special areas industrial tax transfer. Councilor Thorough, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you.
We do one of these days.
Yeah.
Well, and just so anybody listening knows, this has nothing to do with this upcoming tax year budget. So it's not have any impact on budgets for this year.
9.07, 2025 to 2027 operating and capital budget approval.
So we're just looking for council's approval, as we discussed at the budget meeting, to go ahead with the budget as presented. We did want to draw your attention to something that may have caused confusion. When we did the budget originally, we budgeted for a 2% increase. And then we asked council for a further 3% to cover the cost of repaying back our loan. So you have 2 plus 3 is what the increase in revenue. We would be looking at close to like a 5%
5%.
increase in revenue. Because the 2% was originally budgeted, but to pay ourselves back, we need the extra 3% that we discussed. So we thought there might have been some confusion at that meeting last night, that you thought it was a 3% in total, which would only have given us 1% extra in revenue that wouldn't have been enough to pay back the loan. But the 3% extra on the original 2% to cover like just general operating.
Well, I don't think we were confused. I think it wasn't clearly defined, just to clarify, it's just CAO.
Well, when I spoke to Danny, he was under the impression that that's what it was. So, but we weren't sure if that came across.
No, I thought it was a 3%
No.
total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, we were gonna take off whatever the assessment.
Yeah.
Increase.
But it was,
Yeah, that's the, it's the wording, it's a 5% revenue increase.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
as assessments increase, people are aware that it costs
Less.
So we're all on the same page, it seems to not want to reduce services. As things go up
Absolutely.
far more than 5% over the past several years, and we've kind of held the line. Yeah, I don't like the idea of reducing services. And we've done what we can appropriately, and staff done what they can appropriately to keep it as painless as possible. But things are costing more. So I believe assessment is going to increase and it'll cover it. It's going to be a tax increase.
Yeah.
People will unfortunately have to pay more.
Have a chance to revisit this in the spring when
Yeah,
we do get
yeah.
assessments
yeah.
and we know exactly what we have to
And the
use.
plan is also that some equipment will be sold.
Mhm.
So we will put that towards the loan, so that
And the
could reduce the payment.
downtown project could potentially give us a couple.
Funds,
It could be a little
surplus,
bit-
yeah.
There's a lot of things that could change. We could also get the grant to do the 2 roads. It will cut our costs. By next meeting.
Yeah.
We will find out if we get the NREC grant, so that's the 150,000 that may or may not be spent. So,
I don't think we can do the roads without the grant money, can we?
Yeah, we have the money set
Yeah.
aside for it. If we get the grant, then the money we have set aside for it will be
Put back in.
put back in. So we're going with what we know. So
Yeah.
in the last few years, we've budgeted to put for the overlay. But if we happen to luck out and get this grant, that's a bonus for us.
And so do we know when it's possible we'd find that out?
Maybe.
I think it was early in the new year, but I can't remember the date they did mention in one of the emails. The date it was.
It's highly oversubscribed, so I don't
But
know.
when was the last that Hannah got it?
I believe we got that grant for the airport, did we not?
Good.
So we did get it a
years ago.
couple of years
Yeah, a
ago.
couple years.
There's always that chance.
So
And
I would agree on a condition that we go back to 2%.
Then,
But again,
Are
it's
we covered?
revenue, right? So.
Yeah. Well, or we take more in reserve, so.
it's the cost of paying back what we take out of
Yeah.
reserves, because we don't want to deplete the reserves.
Exactly.
So that 3% was the cost of paying back.
Yeah.
The reserve, but as you know, everything else, our operating is going to keep going up every year because all our other costs are going up every year.
Well, and so does the equipment.
Yeah.
You know, every year it's increasing all the time, so.
I'm hoping between the Bobcat plow, but I want to take the plow to the city to a sale because it looks the way it looks and it's CFIP. And they're going, I don't want to give out a number, but I'm guessing anywhere from 30 to 50 for it. Which would be fantastic.
It should be better in the city than.
Then here. Because it's just people would buy it to sand parking lots, or I think you'd get a better revenue out of it.
Yeah.
The Bobcat and the little orange truck, I'm guessing anywhere from 10 to 15. The old orange truck is an immaculate, so if somebody wants a little farm truck. So I'm at 10 to 15 for both units, I think, after that, so.
Good.
What's your commitment?
No,
Sorry.
Snowblower,
Yeah,
and he's not gonna ask for anything else. Get the
But-
snowblower.
but
Right.
considering this, for the next 10 years.
oh, the snowblower lost.
No, I mean, you're not gonna ask for anything more than the next 10 years.
Yeah, right. 10 months.
That's an awful long time.
Just 10 months.
But that's, and just so people are aware, we were considering that because it will increase efficiency in clearing snow. And although there's no hope in whatever of being able to remove all the snow within the first day, like some people were indicating, it will improve it. So if people are concerned about that, then that is what we're looking at. And it would make it a lot faster, a lot more efficient and safer, I think, for everybody.
And reduce overtime. These guys were working 12-hour straight. I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah. And people aren't aware of that.
No.
That the amount of work that goes in to get everything done in a timely manner.
They sit on
And
the
a
keyboard.
lot of it has to deal with people cooperating as well. When signs are put up and it's put it on Facebook that your block will be cleared and people do not remove their vehicles, it's not gonna get done. So the town does an amazing job on clearing the snow, in my opinion.
If the residents could, if they see equipment, take another block, and let us go to work. I'll just throw out a stat. We had a gentleman time us. We didn't know they were timing us. From the time the grader pulled on the street and the loader came in behind, we cleared a block in 22 minutes.
Cause all the vehicles.
Because the vehicles were moved and no other vehicles came in. And we were able just to do our job. The loader didn't have to worry about running into somebody or somebody driving in or being impatient. 22 minutes. So if you give me 22 minutes a block, we can move through town pretty quick.
Yeah.
The snowblower will help because we can just go straight. The loader doesn't have to back up. It will leave room for the odd car that has to get by. We don't have to worry about them. So that's just a stat I wanted to throw.
Yeah, it's interesting. 22 minutes.
Thank you.
Brett did mention that the snowblower would be good at removing stray cats.
I did not. I heard that was.
Yeah.
I said nothing.
I grew up in Quebec City where the snow blowers were the size of this building, these massive, just to get, but they did the little residential streets and at least one pretty good. It was horrific. You saw it coming, you had to get out of the way and they didn't.
Well, and timely clearing of the airport in in time of really importance as well. So
Definitely, yeah.
And that's one thing people have to understand too, with that big snowstorm. It takes two pieces of equipment out there to open that airport, and in that snowstorm, I was called 3 times for the medevac. So it's very important that we get out there. Even in the conditions they were asking if the airport was open. So that's why we open it. It's not for our local pilots. It's so that we can get the airplane in here if the helicopter can't come.
You have a radio with you when you're out there, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah. Would probably be unsafe to be out there.
Yeah. Well, it gets a little, when the lights come on, I start looking.
Yeah.
little dicey. So thank you for that information. That's
Thank you, guys.
You're still looking for a motion.
Yes, and I have a question here then, in regards to the tax increase. Are we voting on those separately? Is that one motion here?
The tax increase won't be, so we get the assessment. So that'll be in the spring.
Okay.
So we're just, you're just looking to approve the budget as presented.
With, that's related to the general use of the tax of 3%. If you don't know that.
We won't know if
okay.
we get the assessment.
It's
It's the revenue,
Oh, okay.
like the revenue that
Yes,
you need
it's
to increase.
It's just a guess.
Yeah.
And it's always a guess until you do get the assessment. Right? Yeah.
I'm confident that the assessments will actually swallow up most of that revenue. So that there won't be any radical changes.
And Brent will come with his bucket of cash.
I will work very hard to cut everything that we're buying. Except for the stamp, because I know what that is.
Sorry, anything, like tax.
There might not be one, I guess, was the point. Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, those cost more, people will end up paying more as their assessment goes up, which is out of our control.
And we have not increased taxes for the last
Well, if it was
4 years or so.
according to the revenue amount, Mr. Neal had indicated it's actually been 10. Since the actual amount that was received went up. Yeah, just, that's what he said before he left. Yeah.
Susan done a good job of managing what we have. And so for, I'm looking for a motion that the town of Hanna Council approves the purchase. Oh, just, sorry.
It's under 20.
Right.
So operating capital budget.
Yes, that the council adopts the 2025 operating capital budget dated December 10th, 2024, as presented, and accepts the 2026 and 2027 operating budgets and the 2026 to 2029 capital budgets for information. Again, motion. Councilor Olson. All in favor? Carried. 9.08 town office closure, December 27th, 2024.
Yeah, this is, we're just gonna be closed over Christmas and we will be coming back to the office on this Friday. So we just felt if we were close to the public, it would give staff a chance to focus on getting tasks done, and if other staff decided to take that day off, we're not short-staffed in dealing with any residents that come in. We're just, you know, there will be staff in the office, it just won't be open to the public that day. So we just need to confirm the cleanup to do that.
Any questions or concerns? Councilor Bowling?
Well, okay.
Okay, Councilor Bowling, that the town council approves the closure of the town of Hanna office to the public on December 27th, 2024, allowing staff to focus on internal administrative tasks while still reporting for duty. All in favor? Carried. We're going to 10 bylaws, 10.1 animal control bylaw 1035 to 2024.
So this takes me back to my first council meeting here when this was done. There's the house of the paper. But from that animal control bylaw that came to council at that time, there were some issues with it and some things in there that didn't belong, like we decided to pull the chicken, stuff out of there, and then there was things about, the CEO doing traffic control as well, so that was pulled from there. I also, while I was working on this, I talked to Harvest Sky Animal Rescue because they had some issues with the first one, and I asked them to review this and, dealt with some of the issues and concerns that they had. So this is an updated version of that. We also talked about offering the lifetime dog licenses, so that was added in there as an option to do lifetime dog licenses. And some of the fees were increased as well, but other than that, I think it's just a cleaner version of the animal control bylaw.
There is a very thing there, right now, that indicated, licensing, I believe, for dogs and cats.
Yeah, it is. I mentioned that.
That was, okay, that was what
I still think we should have a cat bylaw.
Just
Well, you don't, it gives us an idea of how many cats are in the area.
You don't work, unfortunately.
No, but if an animal is out and they have a tag, somebody catches it, then there's a way to find the owner. And typically, most people end up doing it on Facebook anyway, so it wouldn't require a whole lot of. It's just a way to account for the number of cats and treat them no different than dogs.
Okay, I'm going to look for a motion that council approves animal control bylaw 1035 to 2024 as presented and given second and third reading to the bylaw. The previous,
We'll do second first, and then I think you need unanimous consent, and then you can do third reading.
okay. So for second reading, I need a motion. Councilor Thorough, all in favor?
What, are you looking at me?
And third reading?
Unanimous consent.
Oh, unanimous? Okay, yes, all in favor. Did I?
Well, can we do that without our mayor involvement?
Yeah, you start, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to make a motion in order to, for unanimous consent, in order to have the third reading in this meeting.
Do I
So
have
the
that
motion
motion?
is to,
Do you have that motion?
I don't think it's in front of you. So maybe Winona could read it.
I don't have it in front of me. So you're giving unanimous, unanimous consent to have second and final reading tonight. Third and final reading tonight, so.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Councilor Olson? All in favor? Approved. You just read this, rather than
You just
recommend a motion, or just only third read?
Yeah, just third reading, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm asking for a motion for third reading then. Somebody can make that motion. Councilor Thorough, all in favor? Carries. Okay, 11, council reports and roundtable. We start with you, Councilor Cole. Do you have anything that you want to share?
We had big country housing commission meeting this morning. It was very successful, and we made quite a few decisions this morning that affect the public and everyone else. It was really good meeting.
How is it gonna affect the public as far as
Well,
feeding or increasing or?
We're going to dig into low cost housing a little more, like trying to get some more development done. There's a planning for Manor 3, which is definitely needed. We got a waiting list for the village that's arm long, you know, and we're working towards that, you know, more progressive manner, I guess.
Good. It's needed, yeah.
Do they have a proposed timeline, or are you just in the preliminary?
No, we're just, yes, we realize that, the housing situation in Hanna is definitely, you know, needed. There's still a lot of things, but, the government, Alberta government controls where the funding comes from and stuff. And, being that it's election year, you know, we're kind of hoping that federal government and the provincial government, award.
Does Big Country have any land available?
Yeah, the land for, Manor 3 is right on the same property.
Okay.
It runs north and south across it, and it joins the two together. Those drawings have been made up for years. So, you know, they'll have to be revamped, I'm sure. But, you know, the past code and everything, but,
Where does that fit? Man, 3, you see.
it would join Manor 1 and Manor 2.
Oh, and so right in between the two then.
Well, you know, in behind the two,
Oh, okay,
there's room between the existing buildings and the alley.
okay, I don't know.
It would work.
And do they have an idea how many units that it will?
I would think I don't know what's in Manor 1.
Yeah. It's about that.
I'd say that.
Thank you, Council Sproul. Council Bowden, do you have anything that you would like to share?
Well, we had a Harbour Sky Economic Development meeting this morning, Councillor Warwick and myself. And we were discussing, revisiting the, contract deal with, an additional housing, in Building Place. We're going to revisit that again. I believe we are considering putting it out for tender. Once a discussion has been made with another individual. And between Harbour Sky and that individual. And, I think that is, well, and they'd also applied for the, use funding for VIC again, or looking at doing that project as well. They feel it was quite successful last year, and so they're working on that. So I'll see. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Council Bowden. Council Wilson, do you have anything extra you want to share?
Well, in the absence of my report, aside from the same budget meetings we're all blessed with, myself and Palliser CAO did one trip down to Drum, just to discuss past year and future projects moving forward. They're the second largest requisition. Met up with them. Myself and another member of the golf course board ended up doing a double shift at the casino. So the frustration of volunteering continues. We only needed 12 bodies out of a membership of 100, and we had to do two shifts, and we're 14 hours there each. The Palliser AGM was also the same night as the golf course AGM and a links board meeting, so I did not attend all three. I chaired the Palliser AGM, seemed to go well. Not surprisingly, everybody voted to accept the recommendation of keeping their positions the same as last year, instead of increasing as the strategic plan suggested to be laid out years ago, and also had a golf course board meeting on December 3rd.
Do you have any news on activities with lakes? Okay, were you able to,
I never attended the meeting.
but as far as anything that you may have heard or not?
Can't say if there's anything crazy going on with it. I mean, it's always a struggle trying to get grants. It seems about 30% of everybody's staff time just trying to secure grants and funding all these projects as funding is getting less and need and desire for every one of these projects is getting more. Jury's really good trying to be creative to get various education happening there, whether it's nursing projects or different healthcare aid courses that we can get in Hanna. Drum is getting some, and we're trying to reach out to get, an equivalent chance at it. So it's a pretty busy building between all the third-party education that's happening there, as well as just the attendees and the services they provide on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I think they do a lot more than people are aware as far as the hot food and some of the other initiatives they have going on for community that people are not aware of. So, yes, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Olson. Councillor Murphy, do you have anything to share?
Well, I submitted my report on time. That was very important. It's been a year since I've done that. So I have nothing to add to my report because I submitted it on time.
So, thank you very much. Thank you. Thorough.
I finally had to send one in
I
because
saw
I did
that.
so much.
2 pages.
Yeah, but no, there's nothing to add except I'm going with Fred tomorrow night for the State Country Waste Management meeting and see how much trash is talked there.
Oh,
Thorough for your report. I've submitted my report as well. It seems like it's a really busy month, a lot going on. And I would also have, our PEP meeting is this Friday in Carnation. And then I will be participating in CF Meridian in Henderson, Saskatchewan next week. Another thing I just wanted to bring to our attention with our Harvest Sky Economic Development meeting today. Thomas spoke about the CDC TV show Still Standing is showing interest in featuring Hanna. So, and surrounding areas. So we sat and we brainstormed on some highlights and interests, and seemingly we have a lot between all the members that kind of came up with. There was everything from, drag races to prairie races to, individual members that have contributed a lot to our community. So there was a lot that came out of that. So we'll wait to see where that goes from there. The other thing that Thomas did bring to our attention, that he had been in touch with Jonathan at 604 Records in regards to the Nickelback signage. And at this point, there's no interest there in them supporting any signage in the area, which I thought was very unfortunate, but that was the correspondence they had there. The only other thing we did have some conversations about was the train model at the VICs, and we were just concerned that on a go-forward basis that maybe it's time to finish that up and take it as an opportunity to let our public be able to go in and see this the train structure in there. So we did have some conversation with that, and I think there's going to be some follow-up conversations in the future too. So that room has been I think locked off and isolated for some time now. So there seems to be some interest in which I'm happy to be able to have that just for people to see. So other than that, I don't have anything else to report either. So I will accept a motion that council accepts the council reports for information. So, Councillor Bowden, all in favor? Carried. Me first. 12 correspondence items. 12.1 Reggie River Watershed Alliance Municipal Support Letter.
Yeah, if you had a chance to read this over, they are looking for 50 cents per capita in funding for the program. I'm not sure we've ever given money to them in the past, but that's basically their ask for that. Again, that's unbudgeted for,
Maybe about $1,700 or so. No,
half of
Would be
whatever the
12.
population is.
1,200, maybe.
Was the mayor not on that committee? I think he is.
Yes, yes.
He's on the municipal, the Red Deer River Municipal Users Group.
Okay.
But I believe, has he not attended? May have
The Watershed Alliance, I thought he did.
But he had funds, but
But that would be an unbudgeted expense. We haven't
No.
budgeted for that, so,
maybe it's something that we could consider for next year, perhaps,
or when we do the adjusted budget.
Yeah. just see
Next year.
what we get out of it, I guess, is contributing for ensuring we have water, I suppose.
So 12.2, Red Deer River Watershed Alliance case for support.
And that's
I guess
just
that's-
more
yeah.
information.
And 12.3, Marigold notes to council, November 2024.
It's all fancy, but there's nothing really new in it. You read through it, it's all just verifying. They have, all their money comes from taxpayers, right, mill rates, so I guess they have to just send in to say they're doing a good job, and I'm on the committee, they're doing a great job.
So I look for a motion that council accepts correspondence items 12.01 to 12.03 for information. Counselor Olson, all in favor? That's carried. So we are about 29 minutes ahead of time. But we are going to move into,
You can have a break, apologize.
okay, oh, I guess so, okay,
We can't get them to come on early.
They've not logged on yet. She was in another meeting before, so.
You can run these meetings from now on, though.
yeah.
7 o'clock's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Efficiency. Well, then if we want to take a break, I'll, yeah, we have
We'll be back.
a 20-minute break, so I guess we can
Sure.
have some, maybe some roundtable conversation.